the Ferrari F40, engineered by Nicola Materazzi with styling by Pininfarina. It was built from 1987 to 1992 as the successor to the 288 GTO. It was designed to celebrate Ferrari's 40th anniversary and was the last Ferrari to be personally approved by Enzo Ferrari before his death on August 14, 1988. At the time, this mid-engine rear-wheel drive supercar was Ferrari's fastest, most powerful, and most expensive car for sale. And today I'm going to redesign the Ferrari F40. I'm going to modernize it and visualize my idea of what it could have looked like if it was built today. Now, before we do the actual modernization or redesign of the F40, I want to talk about what we're going to do here and the idea behind this modernization. Because, as we know, the F40 isn't just any old Ferrari. It's a pretty special Ferrari, and it has a lot of 80s design vibes all over it, and specifically graphic design. And that is what I want to bring into the modern era. But at the same time, I want you to look at the redesign at the end of this video, and I want you to, there shouldn't be any doubt about what car it is. I want it to be an F40 that could be built today. So we're gonna have to change a few details on this car, and it's going to be all about the details here, such as the trim around the window here, and also this shape of the window is very 80s, so this has to change and become more of a smoother line like we have in modern Ferraris, something like this. You see these side intakes here, which is typical, which is very unique for the F40, but they still look very industrial and very 80s, and that of course has to change too. We're gonna keep them at the same place, but we're gonna make them look as if they could fit a car from today. The wheels, I love these wheels on the F40, but at the same time you have to look at the fitment within the wheelhouse here. Is it modern day Ferrari fitment? We can make some changes there to make it fit the wheelhouse better and look like a more modern car. Now, the most important changes that we're going to make on the car here is all about the graphics, because you can see these headlights, rear lights back here, very typical 80s. It looks like they could just come from any car of the 80s and just slapped onto the F40. So we're gonna have to have specific modern Ferrari lights that we want to put on this rear end. And this rear diffuser is very, very blocky. Again, this is very typical for the 80s, but it doesn't suit any modern Ferrari. So this whole area right here is going to have to be replaced. Aerodynamic features that we need to add to this car, such as something down here, a side skirt, and something in the front here, and also something that connects all of these pieces, something like this, to all around the car. And that has to do with modern aerodynamics under the car, because that's an area that's been improved a lot and something that we definitely need to think about. When it comes to the line flow of the F40, it's very straight. There are a lot of straight lines and very few curvatures. So what I want to do here is to just bring, for example, bring the rear shoulder just up a tiny bit, something like this, and have it dip a little bit here and create this typical mid-90s to today Ferrari shapes. The same with the front fender here. I want to have a little more defined flow here, and not just have it be a single curvature that dips down like that. I want to sculpt it just a little bit more than we have on the original F40, but at the same time, it's not going to be anything drastic or something like that. It's going to be very, very subtle on all of these details, and together all of those details are going to make this F40 look like a modern car. There is quite an interesting backstory as to how the F40 came to be. When the FIA brought an end to the Group B category in 1986, Enzo Ferrari was left with 5 288 GTO Evoluzione development cars
and no series to enter them into competition. Ferrari's chief engineer at the time proposed to Enzo Ferrari that they should build a car to prove that the new powerful Ferraris were safe to use in the hands of the average man on country roads. This, combined with Enzo's desire to leave a legacy in his final sports car, allowed the Evoluzione program to be further developed to produce a car exclusively for road use. A person from Ferrari's marketing department said that we wanted to be very fast, sporting in the extreme, and Spartan. He said that customers had been saying our cars were becoming too plush and too comfortable. The F40s for the most enthusiastic of our owners who want nothing but sheer performance. It isn't an experiment for the future as the Porsche 959 is. It is not Star Wars. It wasn't created because Porsche built the 959. The F40 would have happened anyway. The body of the F40 was designed by Leonardo Fioravanti and Pietro Camardella, both of course working with the studio Pininfarina. They worked together with Ferrari engineer Materazzi, who made sure the engine, gearbox and other mechanical parts of the car were roadworthy. There wasn't a lot of time to get the F40 done, and so Ferrari asked for the car to be completed in only 11 months and to be presented in the summer of 1987. For this reason, he gave Materazzi permission to choose all the engineers in the team, and some of the development of the F40, such as the bodywork, was outsourced in order to save more time. Ferrari had initially planned to build a total of 400 F40s, and at a suggested retail price of approximately $400,000, which would be around $900,000 in today's money, this was 5 times the price of its predecessor, the 288 GTO in 1987. And one of the F40s that belonged to the Formula 1 driver Nigel Mansell was sold for the then record price of £1 million in 1990, and this was a record that held up for over 20 years. In the end, a total of 1,315 cars were manufactured, with 213 units destined for the United States. So, what could the F40 look like today? What would this particular styling look like with modern tools, modern manufacturing methods and engineering, modern aerodynamics and proportions? I wanted to keep this true to the original F40 as much as possible. So the changes here are, as I said in the brief, in the details. It's the slightly different curvature in the front fenders and the more sensual shoulder line. It's the radiuses on the side intakes, the more sculpted vents compared to the more industrial looking original ones. It's the trim around the windows, and it's the exhausts and the diffusers, the lights, wheels and tires. All of these details were changed. It's still beyond a doubt an F40 when you look at it, but it's not a 1988 model anymore. This F40 is from 2021. Personally, I love how this turned out, and I enjoyed making this redesign. It's one of my favorites to date. I hope you enjoyed it as well, and since you're here at the end of the video, my guess is that you did, and you might as well hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm the Sketch Monkey. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I will see you in the next video.